to this very important celebration. It's lovely, Pam, you to be here. Last time we celebrated something for you, you had to go. So anyway, fantastic. Yes. So I'll be handing over to Grant and our board chairman, Warren Gray. Sometimes, I said before, not everyone might know you, but I'm sure it's good for you to be here today. So thank you. Thank you to all these women and John who's turned up. Fantastic. So we'll leave it with you, Grant. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm not going to use this actually, but Warren Loveless.
Oh, look, no, I don't really need to. Look, it's great to see such a turnout, and thank you, Lindley, for starting proceedings. It's a very special moment in Waitakeri's history, and particularly for the women's section, more so for the women's section, but as a club as a whole. It's not every day a club or a person gets a life membership of an esteemed establishment or organisation like Canterbury Golf, and for that the club is very proud and very pleased. I've known Pam for a good number of years, potentially too many, but we can measure that in decades, not in years. It goes back a long way, Pam. And I was to have a complaint. I think it was a particularly poor day to drag us all out of the boroughs to come down here to acknowledge your achievements, and I think that's the way it is. Through those years of knowing Pam, I'd also have to say I have observed her enthusiasm and dedication for our sport of golf, which has been unparalleled, and I think that anything that she has achieved, and particularly through the governance side of the sport and the Canterbury Golf engagement, is second to none. She's done an absolutely splendid job. So what I'd like to do is introduce Grant Lewis, the CEO of Canterbury Golf, who will continue with the proceedings and do the formal sides. Thanks, Grant.
Thanks, Warren.
It's lovely to be here this afternoon, and fantastic to see you ladies come out, and I think it's a measure of respect for Pam that on a day like this, even though you didn't get to play today, that you've made the trip to come out and for the best wishes of Pam. So that's great to see, and obviously a measure of the camaraderie and the strength of the ladies section in the club. You may or may not know that our annual awards dinner got cancelled for the second year in a row, unfortunately. Where we would have presented this year Pam's Life membership in front of a crowd of about over 200 people. But that's the way it is in these COVID times, and so what we've endeavoured to do is try and present these awards amongst people that respect and care for the person that's receiving them. I was up in Harden on Saturday at the Harden Golf Club with our president Mike Rondell, presenting Max Walker with his life membership in front of his Saturday afternoon crew and members here, and that was a great occasion, very similar to this. So thank you for coming out. I just want to firstly introduce a couple of people that I've invited along here today. Firstly, John Thompson, who's on our executive, has been involved with Canterbury Golf for a long time, and John will receive a life membership when he chooses to stand down. But thanks for coming, John. Also, Sue McFarlane. Sue's at Rangiora, as you may know, but Sue's been involved with Canterbury Golf for a long time. Is also a life member of Canterbury Golf, and obviously had a lot to do with Pam in their time. And also Kate Johnston, who's on our executive, former vice president, probably a bit to do with Kate, plays at Christchurch. So thank you for coming along, and I'd just like to get Sue and Kate to come up for me. So if you want to hold on for that, you're going to present this to Pam in a minute. And Kate's got the flowers, it's fantastic. So I've got a wee citation here just on what Pam's done. Would you like to come and stand up here, Pam, and I'll read it? So Pam has been involved with Canterbury Golf since 2009, managing the Women's Masters team for 6 years, and also been a team selector for that time. She has also been on the Women's Course Rating Committee since that time and continues to contribute in that vein today. In 2010, Pam joined the Canterbury Golf Women's Committee, and after 3 years became the chair of the committee in 2013, a position she only just relinquished recently. She also done a stint as a women's selector during that time. A little known fact about Pam is that she represented Canterbury at the New Zealand Individuals in 1973, then known as the Russell Grace Tournament. She was also a non-playing reserve for the team in 1970 to 1972 and played for Canterbury in various other regional rec matches during that time. Pam received her Canterbury Golf Distinguished Service Award in 2015. It is our pleasure today to reward her longevity with a Canterbury Golf Life membership.
Thank you. I'd much rather have 30 odd ladies here, my friends, than a crowd of 200 at the awards. Thank you all for coming out on such a rotten day, and now fine, we can all go and have a game of golf.
Yes. Slush, slush.
Right, did have a few notes. So we're doomed to get this live membership award, as Grant said.
Excuse me, do you want to use the mic?
Right.
Why don't you go to the back side, there might be struggling.
Is that better? Yes. Receiving this award was doomed from the start. I didn't think I was going to live long enough to get it. We first knew about it last year, and Max and I decided we would separate the years. So Max didn't get his last year either because of COVID. So then they decided that both of us would have it this year at the award ceremony. That didn't happen. And then it was going to go to the annual general meeting, and that didn't happen because the meeting was a Zoom meeting. So here we are now. So lovely to see you all here today. Thank you. I must say that a large part of my life has zoomed past me today with all the talk about the representative days. I must say Canterbury Golf has been an enjoyable part of my life. Don't have a big family, so really I adopted Canterbury Golf as part of my extended family, and it has been an enjoyable and rewarding time. I was a late starter with golf. I think Judy Sadler and I started at the same time. We both worked at the Christchurch City Council and thought we'd have a bash at one of the social club events. So that's when we both got hooked on this game. So here we are today. When I was at high school, there was a girl in my class, and this was early on, so I was probably about 15. And she went out and played golf with her parents in the weekend. Really? We had other things to do at that age, so anyway, that person still plays at Avondale, Di Ritchie, as she was then. Yeah. So there we go, we're all here. So, having got hooked on this game, I did manage to achieve a little success, as Grant said. The time came when I wasn't quite so good and decided that I should give something back to the game. So that's when I started my time with Canterbury Golf on their committees. I must say that Canterbury Golf has come a long way in the time with their programs for their young people today. They really are leaders in the districts. We've seen a lot of changes during this time with the clubs, with all the different age groups. Within Canterbury Golf, there was a big amalgamation just before I came in when the men and women decided they was work as one. So Eureka, it happened there too. And I think Sue was there at that time, and it was a a big part of the organisation. So there have been 3 golf operations people in their administrative roles since I've been there. And Jenny Buckley, which some of you will remember, Jenny held the position that Mike Millwood holds today. Jenny was a formidable lady. There was only one way, and it was Jenny's way. But she was a lovely person, and she was a good friend of ours. And she was well respected. Now we've got Mike Millwood, who is a pleasure to work with, lovely man. And I think you'll be very lucky to have Mike in your organisation. With the Women's Committee, we had a few little tips along the way, but in all my time, we've only had one disciplinary matter we had to deal with. So I think that's just something for women's golf. They're well organised and they're usually pretty polite with their game. In recent years, of course, we've seen changes in how we play our golf, and the Women's Committee has endeavoured to adapt to the modern lifestyle and changing the way we do our interclubs and other events. It's been a privilege to work with the women on the Women's Match Committee and Grant and your team. I've no doubt that Canterbury is a leader in the New Zealand districts. Thank you for the Life Membership Award. I'm very honoured to receive it. And just a thought, we all have life memberships in this game of golf, at whatever level you choose, and enjoy it. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for all of my friends to come out today, it's just wonderful. There is a cake being cut up in there, so if you'd like to shout yourself a cup of coffee.
Canterbury Golf will shout a cup of coffee if you want one.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So we've got the cake to go
There you
with it. So, thank you, Rob. Thank you for your kind words. So let's get on with the party. Thank you.